Welcome to my new YouTube channel. I am the Vortex Trader, and this new YouTube channel is just going to be myself sharing my thoughts and opinions on the current crypto market, what it's like to be a bag holder, a long-term accumulator, the psychology behind selling your bags, round tripping the day-to-day anguish that people go through when holding assets like this and watching their portfolios do crazy nose dives, skydives, rocket ships, all of that jazz. We're going to look at what it's like, what is it really like just to be a regular dude, regular person. You're on Earth, you're a human, and you've decided to invest in this crazy volatile asset class. Um, you may have previous experience investing. Many of us do. You may have zero experience in investing. Many of us don't, right? That's the reality. And if you're a long-term holder and you're a bag holder and you have no experience, then the mental anguish and the mental insanity is just going to be X amount of times worse than even if you are a distinguished, experienced investor, right? Somewhat profitable, very profitable. I myself spent 5 years becoming a profitable trader. It took a lot of pain and effort, but I eventually got there. I'm also a long-term spot holder. I'm a bag holder of certain cryptos. Let's look at XRP. Where my XRP peeps at? I've been a part of the community forever, long time lurker, right? I bought XRP first in 2018 on the way down from the previous 2017 cycle top. I've been accumulating ever since then. I've been on the journey through every single crazy dip. I've been through the court case, the COVID dip, the FTX collapse, everything. You name it, I've been through. I've seen those dips. I've watched my portfolio gone down. Uh, the cheapest I managed to get XRP at was around 10, 11 cents, 12 cents. And the most expensive I bought it at was probably around 50 cents and everything in between. I had a decent average price. And the truth is, I sold most of my bag right there, just before this liquidation event occurred that destroyed many people, for which I am truly sorry. Playing with leverage, guys, not fun when these events happen, and they do happen, right? We've been through them many times before. And being a bag holder or a spot holder, the only way you're affected is by watching your portfolio shrink dramatically, right? You look at your portfolio and you look at the amount of P&L you have, the amount of money, and you watch it lose many digits. And it happens so quickly, so quickly. And in times like that, if you have no experience in these markets, well, that can obviously lead to panic selling and all sorts of craziness. I didn't sell here. I didn't sell here. Um, Out of all the experience that I like to think I have, I didn't sell here. The reason why I never sold here is the same reason that the rest of us never sold here, is because we believe that the price will go much higher. But the point is that looking at all the previous data and looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is not shrinking, and looking at ETH that does not want to go beyond 5K, and the timing of everything adding up, gold cascading up. Okay, right now we finally took a bit of a dip yesterday, and today it actually looks like we got a bit of a double top going on here. It's a flat top. We've got some divergences across the histogram and moving averages of the MACD as well as the RSI, so that's cool. As a trader, you could look for an entry if price comes back up to this region to go short. That's just one opinion. But back to XRP. Yeah, never sold that. Wish I did, because my portfolio was worth significantly higher then. All right. I still have a bit of exposure. I didn't sell everything, right? We always need some exposure. At least I personally think so for myself. But if this was the end of the current market cycle, right? If it is going to take another few years for XRP to get back up to those prices, then for that reason, I was in major profit around this zone. And I didn't want to round trip a third time. I do not want to see this thing go all the way back below a buck or even under $2. Like, I didn't want to see that happen. No one ever, people get emotionally attached to their bags, right? They do, especially if you've been a long-term holder, long-term accumulator. Um, as a trader looking at these markets daily, I've checked, just as like many of you, I've checked these charts throughout the day hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. It becomes almost muscle memory like. It's like any other habit that a human can form. You go on your phone and you click on TradingView and you look at the prices. And then people go on X and then they start doom scrolling. And depending what state of mind they're put in by all the craziness that is going on around them, as well as world events or geopolitical events, yada yada yada. This can have a dramatic effect on their mental state of mind and what sort of mood they're in. And this can affect an average person and sort of twist their arm and force them to make some emotional moves that they otherwise would not do had they not been doom scrolling or death scrolling on social media. I did not sell here. I sold here. Wish I did sell there. And now I'm thinking, what is XRP going to do? Now, short term, I mean, there's literally only two options, right? Well, three: up, down, or sideways. Right now, we're clearly ranging. I would love to see XRP break past this $2.70 zone again, right? Push above it, like strong. Like, let's make a higher high from this recent $3.345 mark. Let's actually get beyond it. Something like this. Let's come down and retest this again for the millionth time, build the support, and then maybe, yeah, that's looking at it from a trading point of view. If you're short, I mean, the support could easily be respected and turned into a new resistance zone, in which case could be a possible entry to go short. Myself, I'm just watching. I'm just watching. Um, Most of my bag was sold around this zone here. So just looking at it, turning into cash and having it on the side, trying to see whether I should jump back in or not. It's a lot of decisions that are weighing heavily on the mind. But I do have to remind myself that, we're all humans, we're all here living on Earth. And if you zoom out, just like zooming out on the chart, if you zoom out and you try and get an overall objective, sort of larger perspective of life, living on a planet, it's just a rock really, just like flying through space at crazy speeds and just going around and around our sun. I mean, it sort of puts everything into a bit more perspective, instead of zooming all the way into like the 5 minute chart and getting worried at every single price movement, which we've all done as well. I've definitely done. I've watched XRP on the 1 minute time frame multiple times. But with experience, you get the sort of know-how to just mellow out, chill, right? Don't be so drastic. Don't be so drastic. And panic move. Don't panic anything. Don't panic. Don't make decisions when you're in panic mode. And when I did sell my XRP, I can safely say that I was not panicking. I was actually very clear of mind, sober, right? No influence was there subconsciously. I just didn't want a round trip. I didn't want a round trip. And I saw this zone of support that was respected for so long finally break below, and it was clearly in a downtrend. So as much as I love all these markets and I want to see them do well, the reality is I still have to look at the movement as a trader and be like, we're not making higher highs anymore, guys. We're not. We had a higher high, then we had a lower high, then we had a lower high and a lower high, and the support that got tested so many times, I mean, eventually it's going to break, right? If you punch through a wall hard enough, eventually it's going to break. I mean, it was resistance back in May, and we finally broke above it, and then we just kept bouncing, 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 break. And this liquidation event, not so cool. So that is the reason why I sold. Um, Definitely puts you in a calmer state of mind because you don't have so much exposure, and it actually gives you a little bit of time to separate yourself from the chart and just relax, do some meditation, go out and touch the grass, hug a tree, do something else. Right? It's instead of staring at these charts all day. I get it. I do get it. I really, really do get it. Um, and now I'm watching. Now, I'm not a bear or a bull, or I'm like, crypto's entered into its next bear market cycle. No, we're still in the bull market. Like, I'm neither, guys. I really am neither. I'm completely neutral. Took me a long time to get to that point. Like, I want the best for people. I want, if you are a long-term bag holder, man, I want that 10, 11, 12, maybe even 20, $30 XRP as much as the next guy. Like, I really do. I don't want to see this thing tank on itself and have to wait for another few years. Although if it does, I'll just start accumulating more again and carry on with my DCAing, dollar cost averaging in. So that really is the story. And this channel is primarily going to be about that journey, right? Just selling your bags, getting out of the market, getting back in. Just a mental journey that a lot of people go through when getting into these markets. And the the ability to be so easily influenced by what you read online, especially when you're doom scrolling through social media and you're getting hyped up on all the posts and all the viral posts and all the social media action and the $1,000 XRP Moon Boys, and you're getting hyped up, and or you're on the other side and you're getting hyped up on, no, for just as an example, right? XRP sucks, it's going to zero, and you sort of you get into these tribalistic states of mind, which is not not natural. I mean, we've always, as humans, forever, we've been tribal. And it seems in modern society of 2025, people become tribalistic about their investments. Whether they're gold investors, metals, crypto, if they're just indice holders. Let's look at what the Russell's doing. Yeah, come on, Russell. We want to see that. We want to see you push higher. You can do it. Get back to your crazy high. Looking at ETH again. I mean, we're right on the bottom there. We're this area of support. Not really higher highs, just lower highs, trickling along the bottom. And we can always think, we'll want that rocket ship candle to come out of nowhere. And in crypto, it can super quickly. But are we going to base a large chunk of our capital, like our hard-earned sweat and tears that we've invested in for so many years, um, just for the hopium of one of those awesome candles that just appear? Now, those candles appear, and they do appear, but mostly when we're going up, right? I mean, when we're going up, we get those days where it's just rampant. It's like a rocket ship season. It's incredible. But we haven't seen that in a while. Now, I really, really hope that one of these coming days we just see a just explosion upwards. We see ETH break its all-time high. We get above the 5K mark, and that will in turn push the majority of the alts up with it. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Yeah, we would need to see this thing continue to fall. And we started that fall. I mean, the lowest we got, 57%, would be lovely if we could jump on the weekly. If we could actually see this thing begin to completely taper off. We want to see price fall. We want to see that movement. We want to see it fall, go down, go down, go down. But if you have a large chunk of capital invested that's relative to you, because everybody's different, then for myself, I couldn't see this thing just continually move up, watch my bags go down again and round trip. Just did not want that to happen. So I decided to sell, de-risk, right? Little less exposure into the markets, a little bit more cash heavy, and this is something that we learn. And especially myself as a trader, one of the things that took me a long time to learn when entering into short-term to mid-term positions is actually just taking profits. Just taking profit, like take the profit off the table. It's okay to do. It's not a bad thing to do. In fact, that's how you actually make money in the markets, is by closing off those positions and take your damn profit. You deserved it. You won, right? Maybe not as much as you would have wanted, but you won. And that gives you more space, more breathing room to get back in if you should so wish to do so. So yeah. So guys, yeah, this is just going to be. I don't want to call it a rant heavy channel because I don't want to be one of those ranting dudes. Respect to the ranters, love the ranters, but more about the psychology, the mentalness, the emotional side. What's it like? What's it like? What's it really like? Because you get a lot of judgment from people, especially if you're one of those, dude, you should have invested in this and this. I told you, or family members and friends are telling you when you're telling them around price points like this, my portfolio is so high, and they're saying sell, and you're like, nah, dude, it's gonna go even higher, and then the price today, and then they're like, I kind of told you, right? And you're like thinking, dude, you have no experience in this market, and then you're also kind of kicking yourself because you're like, damn, they're freaking right. They were right. They were right. So there's a lot of chaos that forms within the mind. We got to find a way to rectify that. You've got to remain neutral, right? We got to be completely stoic. It helps. Be neutral, man, right? Just zoom out, zoom out. And yeah, I think that is what we're going to be speaking about mostly. We're definitely going to be looking at price charts and thinking of hopium. If price reverses on itself and decides to rocket ship out of these areas, then I am with you guys all the way. I'm jumping in. So yeah, having said that all, I want to thank you all for watching the first video on this channel. Right, excuse the thoughts and ideas that are racing through my mind that aren't coming through as clear as I would like them. That also takes practice, so I think a couple of videos in should be a little bit more clearer in that sense. And yeah, if you could maybe, do the whole that would be awesome. Much appreciated, and definitely be seeing all of you in the next one. Thanks for watching.